Yeah, this is the second round. It's Pauper for this time.
All right.
So
Yeah, Vector's Dredge versus Mono Blue Terror.
yep. So Kari is playing is our Pauper player, and he not so for like he started coming to Pauper with Constructred Dredge, and he decided to play it. He was thinking of
How do you
playing
see,
Boros Synthesizer Otis.
how do you see this matchup? Who do you think is favorite here?
I think Blue Terror is favored in this.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing.
Yeah, because
Terror is a very, very strong deck, and
Dredge is like functions only as a sorcerer speed deck. It basically does nothing on instant speed that Terror really cares.
yeah.
So it's always like if it passes with mana up, it will always do something. So this is we talked with Kari about this, and he agrees that this is not a good matchup. Basically, any blue matchup is not good.
Yeah. That's what it feels like.
I wasn't like this is my first time seeing the game. My game took almost the whole round. I was playing against Esper Pixie, so it got grindy.
Mm.
But what I heard from Kari about this matchup, he said, yeah, there's almost nothing to comment on it. So when I cut out some parts, I didn't check out how the game went. I know what's the outcome, of course. But yeah, he's on the draw, and Terra One Delver is always so scary.
Yep, that's already pretty good for the Mono Blue Terror deck.
Yeah, well, what I have played against Mono Terror, it's always the biggest difference if they have a Delver. Because if they don't have the Delver on turn 1, they're gonna like scramble some turns, so you have like enough time to do anything, basically.
The
Well,
Discord made the stream disappear for a second. I don't know why. Okay, but it's back.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, I feel like now they can just comfortably trade 1-1 while hitting them for 1 or 3 every turn, which then makes it so much worse.
The 1 damage is like almost negligible, but if it gets the 3-2, it's like must answer on that turn.
Yep. And admittedly, I feel like between brainstorms or ponders, there is quite a few ways to set up the Delver to flip for sure.
Yeah, because Dredge doesn't play like it. I think it doesn't play any removal in the main board. So the turn 1 Delver is even scarier when you literally have nothing for it.
Yeah, you can only hope that it doesn't happen. It happened, and now it's.
Like, I think Kari's hand is good. He has the Cathartic Greenie on Sneaky Stacker. And the second mana is coming from this Oliphant. And this is like a really good time to do this, because his opponent has only 1 mana, so there's only like Spell Pierce in Pauper with 1 mana that can counter it.
I think so, yeah.
Spell Snare is uncommon. This spell doesn't hit it. Well, there's also Force Spike, but
yeah, I guess technically there's Force Spike, but then again, nobody plays that. So.
Yeah, like I guess.
Oh wait, actually, there is 2 off in a stock list. There is 2 Force Spikes.
Oh, there is.
There are 2 Force Spikes in just like the top list of Mono Blue Terror.
Well, good thing that I talked smack about it. Yeah, here he's thinking about, does he reveal that he has a swamp or just play the mountain? So, Sneaky Snacker in the graveyard and something useless in the graveyard. Another Oliphant. I know what's gonna happen. That hurts.
That is so rough.
I think he would have been fine if that resolved. Because then he would add the 3 cards in hand and Sneaky Snacker in the field, which can block the Delver on the next turn. Like, not this turn, but the next turn. And now his hand is basically nothing.
Yep. Now his hand. 2 mana discard 3 cards. That's not good.
technically 2 mana, you discard 3, and your opponent discards 1.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. And now there's like a real threat. Like Terror doesn't need to do anything. They need only 1-for-1 trade counter spells anymore, and they
Yep.
win.
And I have a feeling they probably have more counter spells than
What do you
cards in the Rector's player hand.
what do you mean that the mono blue deck that can sculpt their hand, or the deck that only
Yeah.
sculpts their hand, has like a good hand when their opponent doesn't have cards? Yeah, this is a matchup that Kari would have liked to have the Boros synthesizer, what I understood a little
For sure.
more. Yeah, because this is not as a bad matchup for that.
Yeah, you can grind a bit better. I have no idea what card this is.
This is Kitkin something. It's a 6 mana 5/4 with cycling 2, and it costs 1 less for each creature in the graveyard.
Creature in your graveyard. Yeah, right. So it's the terror at home, basically.
Yeah, basically it's a black terror. Instead of having ward, like it has cycling 2. Instead of having ward 2, yes.
Amazing.
I was very surprised when I saw it in like first time in our Pauper tournaments, because I don't play Pauper. I don't like I play it what we have it here, but I don't like look at the deck lists.
Yeah, a hardcore Pauper grinder.
So when first time I saw this, I was like, huh, is this actually played? But yeah, it's actually a really good card when you have 1 mana 5/4.
Yes. You know what's even better? 1 mana 5/5.
But Gurmag Angler exiles your cards.
Yes, but Solarian Terror doesn't.
Yeah, true. But you know what's even better? 2 mana Troll.
Very true.
The Dredge is like so absurd when it gets the turn 1 Troll cycle, turn 2 X-Human. Like,
yeah.
Huh. And then they just ask, cast down check.
Yeah, that's a legacy play that you would do. You do it probably with reanimate instead. Well, you kind of was banned, but it used to be like a staple of legacy. So just go turn 1, drop the troll, turn 2 reanimate it.
Or turn 1 grief, reanimate.
Yeah, that was also really fun.
Yeah, it was fun times.
That's been banned for longer, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. Even though I don't play legacy either.
Here's the desperate blood cycle.
Yeah, also, the Dredge is like a deck that really needs to find the Stinkweed Imp if it doesn't have like a good hand with the X-Hume. And like you can see, there is no Stinkweed Imp, so there's no like way to fill the graveyard, no way to get Scrapwork Mutts or Red Rethers in the yard. Like the Imp would be a perfect blocker for this moment because it's a basically 1/2 Death Toucher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it gets countered, oh well, you at least get to mill 5.
Yeah, exactly. And that's nothing to laugh at, honestly. Yeah.
But yeah, this is like this is serious damage. 6 in the air, nothing you can do. You have basically 2 useless cards in the hand.
Yeah, and your opponent keeps sculpting every turn because, well, that's what they do.
We saw, we have seen like my game, which was good. Like everything went as I wanted, basically, and I tried to lose it. Then we saw Titan, which did everything to win and still tied. And now we're seeing again, like trying to do everything to win.
And you're just hitting a stone wall here.
This is looking really rough. Like for mono terror, this is looking very good. This is like exact board that you want to have. Like 2 Delver, 2 threats, crypt full of cards, and open mana that you can like use.
Yeah, precisely. There's very little that can go wrong here. You have insurance against any weird, funny threats with counterspell, or well, not anymore, I suppose.
Well, I don't think.
And then you're beating down in the air. Ah, there we go. Here is the 1 mana 5/5.
Yeah, because this also like you now the 5/4 cannot attack. Or it can, but it will never be blocked. Because why would it?
Yeah, exactly.
Voldemort Epicure is a good card. No, like dissing that. It's not maybe the card that you want at this moment. Well, at least it gets the Snacker in the graveyard. That's a good start.
True. Yeah.
But you would
And
need,
then you may be finding something else eventually.
like the Snacker is better in the graveyard because obviously Rakdos doesn't have anything to like cast it. But
Yeah.
out of the land is not the thing you want. I think
I'm not even sure what you want at this point. You want what? Damnation? That's not a common.
What do you mean? The new Ugin is a common, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm not really sure what they would like. What he would need to draw from that point to get the Snacker in the field either, because the Snacker is gonna be too slow on this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And because
it's a really rough spot.
Yeah, because all of the dredges card draw, except for Fateless Looting, is like discard first. Fateless Looting is the only one that's draw first.
Which usually is an upside. Usually you want to discard first because that way you can get the Snacker into the bin, you can get the Synchrodim into the bin. But then when they get countered, it feels so much worse.
Well, that's the thing with him, but it really doesn't matter because I think he was like a 3 or something.
Yeah. That's been quite a few turns of being beaten down by stupid insects.
Yeah. Well, let's go to game 2, and now he gets to start, which is a little bit better when you're against a blue deck.
Okay, see the throw, I didn't see the Exhume, unfortunately.
And I didn't see any
I
lands.
also don't see any lands. Oh, there's a 1. Oh, that's fine. Oh, then there's the Exhume as well.
Oh, that's an amazing hand.
It's a really good hand, yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the like optimal hands like to have. Of course, well, if there's not the Spell Pierce again.
Well, or the Force Spikes, but you can only hope.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, and also the Swamp got so excited with the 180 instead of just doing the usual 90-degree tap.
Yeah,
let's see.
It just says it's better swamp. It's cooler swamp.
Exactly.
Now, I'd presume he would just slam it because if it resolves, it's so good.
For sure, yeah.
And you don't have. I think the dredge is the one that's going aggro first because the terror. If the terror doesn't have the Delver, yeah, I remember names.
Names are difficult, I understand.
That sucks quite much.
That is really, really unfortunate. There was so much excitement. There was so much riding on this, making this hand incredible, and then you just get pierced.
And I think like because the spell pierces for spikes are not like 4 off, they're mostly just like 1 to 2 off. And because I think he had to do that. There's like no way he wouldn't do this because now there's like more options for different kind of counter spells, like counter spell. At that position, there was only the Force Spike or Spell Pierce.
Yeah. It's 2 and 2.
Yeah.
In most stock lists. Oh, a read for the Mutt.
Mutt, the all-star from Modern, or let's
say
say
it's a Modern Horizons card.
Yeah. No, it's a Brothers War.
Oh, all right.
But I just remember seeing it a surprising amount in Modern when it was printed.
Yeah, not so much anymore. People just kind of figured out it's not that amazing.
What do you mean? I played Frog, you played that. What do you mean by Frog is better?
No, just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Well, the Mutt draws a card immediately, so you know.
But it also discards a card immediately.
Nah, that's just fine. I need to talk about that part.
Oh yeah, I remember Kari was asking from me that what kind of graveyard hate is like legal in this format? And we were like between his sideboarding, we were like, huh, is Thorvar's Grip actually legal in this format? Because neither of us plays this like much. And then he saw the Thorm. Arttu, yes, it is legal.
It is legal.
Huh.
Turns out.
It's good to know.
Better late than never, you know?
Yeah. At least the information came from the mental note and not like, oh, there's Thorvar's Grip
Yeah,
now.
not just being casted. And you're like, huh.
Uh-huh. About that graveyard. Yeah, in the round one, when I said that at that point when Yanni conceded and our Pauper player started losing, it was like his opponent was playing blue-black control and just drew deep analysis, where what got him Poyukabok and exiled like 20 plus cards.
Damn.
I'm like, there goes like 2 mutts, few snackers, and like, oh, well, that sucks.
That really sucks.
But at least there's no like worrying about Poyukabok in this matchup.
Yeah, but you also can see here that the massive difference that not having Delver on turn 1 makes.
Yeah, there's like basically no worries. Mono Blue Terror has only sculpted their hand and graveyard at this point, and there's no pressure.
I think we are in the realm of 1 mana 5/5s coming down pretty soon.
Or 2 mana 6/5s. That's like, I think that's gonna happen. Everybody knows it, but
yeah,
at this point there is not a real threat. And
another
also Kari is
powerful
just
mutt.
Yeah, Kari is also just getting time to sculpt his hand, because these mutts are like so annoying to counter.
Yeah, because they just come back.
Yeah, for temporarily, but still like, and it's just a 2/1.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying. But yeah, his hand is now what, Troll, Swamp, Snacker, and he has the blood. So he can use the blood to discard the Snacker, and that's the 3rd card.
Oh yeah, that comes back because you got 1 from the mutt and 1 from the blood and 1 from the draw. Yeah.
So this is like a good position. He has multiple threats. Multiple threats, 1 flies, and he has sculpted his hand some amount. Like we ain't. The Wolverine Epicer is also fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's done 1 damage. It's helped you sculpt. It basically brought back the Snacker on its own.
Like he ain't like that far away from casting a troll either.
Yeah, there's only 2 more lands.
Yeah. And with 4 mana, you have the possibility of casting Dread Return now.
True, and you don't have to just sacrifice 3 creatures. Yeah, that's also very good.
Yeah. So now there isn't like that many dead draws anymore. Like after the 4th land, there's of course like the last 2 trolls, 2 Oliphauns, and few of the giants.
And I guess you don't want to really be drawing snackers either at this point. But otherwise.
Yeah, there's 1 Wolverine Epicure in the hand, so it's not like the worst draw.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you can just pass it immediately, and then maybe you get another card.
Yeah, also, like if there's 1 terror, you can attack with everything, and if Mutt gets blocked, you have like the possibility of playing the Wolverine Epicure and passing, and next turn use the Mutts Unearth.
Yeah.
So this isn't like the worst position.
Yeah. Also, I'm guessing that I'm fairly surprised that there's not much going on from the mono blue terrors side of things. There's just been like a lot of cantrips. Yeah, there was that huge spell pierce, which I guess was enough to make this a game instead of just a landslide. But otherwise,
yeah, I'd imagine if there wasn't the spell pierce, the game would have ended already.
Yes, most definitely.
But yeah, there's the terror.
There's 1.
There's 2.
Does it have a friend? It does, of course. Any more friends? Okay, just 2 snakes.
Just 2 snakes. Like this is an annoying position to be in, because now you can only attack with the Snacker, but it isn't the worst in my opinion. There could be a lot worse.
For sure.
But the Monopoly Terror is representing counterspell, and at this point they have sculpted their hands so much that there's no way they don't
There's
have
no
it.
way there isn't one, yeah.
Because considering now from attacking is if you attack, is it just to get the mutts in the graveyard? But it's obviously just better to block with them.
Yeah. You also save 5 life.
Mm. And here comes the Voldaren Epicure.
Another game with no imps, really. So this Rakdos Dredge is not doing a lot of dredging.
Yeah,
I must
true.
say.
Yeah, imagine all of these Voldaren Epicures with it, because there would be a lot more than one Sneaky Snacker at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's
Also, I can see how there is not too much to comment on this. It's like it's fairly straightforward. Just me play things, me smack, and then the other player just making you very sad.
Yeah, there's like this is like one of the like Monopoly Terror is the deck that is the most interesting thing would be what's in their hand.
Yeah.
But of course, because we don't know what's in their hand, it makes it a little bit like harder. Like, they could have this or this. You really can't tell.
Yeah, because we basically know what carry has in his hand because he just keeps slamming it because well, there's not much else that he can do with his hand.
Yeah.
Whereas
The
the
dredge is a really straightforward deck. It's like, okay, I have these. I kill you with this. Do you have anything?
Can you say no? Okay, you did say no. Well, that's a shame. Let's try again next time.
Yeah, that's very aggressive attack. I'd imagine Mono Terror has something.
Probably has another creature to drop, I would
Yeah.
imagine, yeah.
Because otherwise this is really aggressive. Of course, you need to end the game at some point. This is probably Cryptic Serpent.
Yep, that looks like it, yes.
Yep. So this 100% indicates that there is a counterspell in the hand.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would have been dropped last turn, or it's the biggest bluff ever.
Yeah, a multi-turn setup in which, no, I have nothing, I promise.
I have only casted what Ponder, few mental notes, brainstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing. What do you mean?
No. And like, a land was played every turn, I think. Yeah. So, if you know it, there's not like 10 lands. Okay, this is interesting. The choice to just toss the troll to get another land.
I think this is actually just deck thing, because the dredge has like 14 to 15 lands only.
Oh, okay. I think next place would be that low. All right.
Yeah, I think it's really low because they have 6 cyclers, 2 of the dual lands, and some amount of basic lands, but that's not that high.
All right, then this makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually like thinning deck, because there's 1 in the graveyard, 4 on the play, 1 in the hand, so 6. That's like almost half the lands in the deck.
Yeah, and if the plan is to, I'm not sure if the plan. I guess if you draw another land now, you don't mind Cathartic Reunioning anyway.
I still probably wouldn't do it because.
You think you'd rather just try to get to 6 because 2 of the trolls are gone now. They're both in the graveyard. I guess the Oliphant is still like potentially a threat. Looting is interesting.
I'm not sure why they're checking.
Yeah, what was there a scry that I missed somehow?
I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but basically, turn draw, let's go. It was a faithless looting. At least we got to see what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what you want to see with Fate. If you cast Faithless Looting, what do you want to see with it? I'm not 100% sure. Because if you cast it, you cannot like get any Sneaky Snackers back. And you don't have a guarantee that you have anything to discard. That's good.
Yeah.
But is it a little bit too... Because if you use the Mutt, it basically says that you have to attack with most of your creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Fatal Looting.
That makes sense to me. That's the correct way to go about this.
Yeah, I also think too. Because the Cathar, I would never cast a Cathartic Reunion. If it
Yeah,
gets
it's very
counter,
risky.
yeah.
Okay, an Epicure
Slan,
and
Epicure, and I'm not sure what's the other card. Oh, it's the
oh yeah, it's the guy that is 1 mana 5/4 or something.
yeah. That's really good at this point.
What would you discard here? I think I probably would go with Reunion and either the land or the Epicure.
I would say Swamp and Cathartic. I think they're the worst
Yeah.
card because Epicure at least deals 1 damage and is a redraw.
Yeah.
Of course, now there's a little problem with the red mana because the Smut wants red from the graveyard, Epicure wants red, Faithless Looting wants red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree with this decision in the end.
Yeah, I think this is the best because those are the basically dead cards in hand. These new cards do actually something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This attack makes a lot of sense, and then the Kitkin. Yeah,
So this is what's 2 mana thoughts is your opponent's counterspell.
Yeah. Well, this is not anymore a really good position for Kari because now he's facing like a 5/5/5/5
Yeah,
6/5.
Yeah, there's like 16 damage on the opponent's board. That's a lot more than 0. Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. Only 2 cards left there for Mono Terror.
Yeah. And I think Kari is at 15 at this point because he blocked one of the weapons.
Yeah.
This is also like a moment. Imagine if he had just found one thing with him, and all of those like draws could have been mill 5s.
Yep, and then play a Death Toucher.
But yeah, like even having the possibility of dread returning because that's a double spelling turn because cast this 5/4, oh you counter it. Oh, well, I'm just gonna cast dread return and win.
Exactly.
There's always just a win button, but now there like isn't a possibility for that. I think there might have been a little mishap from Kari's side.
Took 1 more damage, but that's fine.
I'm not sure if that could matter because they're 8 Delver.
Yeah, no, they're all 5 or 6. So it's probably the same.
Yeah, now he figured out, oh, it has 6 power.
Yeah.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
Nobody saw that one. It's okay. Okay, so there is 6 damage on Kari's side. With the Unearthed Snacker and the Mutt.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much life does the Terror have. I'm guessing it quite a bit still.
Yeah, I think it would be around 10 to 8.
I think 8 to 10. Yeah, 8 to 10 is what I was going to say as well.
Oh, that's Exhume. But I think there has been, like, from the thought scores and stuff, there's been milled a creature into the Terror's graveyard. So the Exhume isn't, like, that good.
Yeah, not that exciting. The stream had paused for me, and now it's back to being really small. Okay, I fixed it again. All good. Or did I? It's now just a black screen. I'll just watch it sprawl for a while. It's okay. All right.
So you can see?
I can see now, yes. So Exhume is being cast. Is it resolving? I guess it is.
I think they're now checking what there's. Oh yeah, because Kari has Lola Giant in the graveyard.
Yep. That's a lot of damage, right? I think I saw at least 5-6 creatures.
Yeah, that would be something about like that, but there's counterspell.
That's the 3rd counterspell. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's not that surprising because the blue player has been sculpting their hand basically.
That is true. Game. Yeah. And now what are you left with?
You need to block 2 creatures next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd imagine Kari will cast the Voldaren Epicure.
That's what I would expect as well.
It's quite
And then you have one more shot at the Exhume somehow, because at that point there's not even a Dread. Oh, you can cast Dread Return, yes. So you have some outs next turn, maybe?
Yeah, with the top deck there's a way.
Yeah.
Because Terror also doesn't play that many removal spells.
What is a removal
Surprisingly.
spell?
There's like the 1/4
Something
mana.
it taps?
No, there's the 4 mana that cheapens from each card that you have drawn, and then it puts a creature. Was it like second top or bottom, and your opponent chooses?
Oh yeah, Demon Inferior.
Yeah, that.
Right.
Sometimes they
And
might
then I
have.
guess
Hmm?
I've also seen that there is this Sleep of the Dead, which
Yeah,
is
that was the other one.
taps
It wasn't tap,
for a
and it
turn.
doesn't untap.
Yes, it puts a stun counter, quote unquote. It doesn't actually.
Yeah, and it was escape with escape.
Yeah. 3 and exile 3 other cards.
Yeah, you don't have like any way to play around it. No.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a really rough situation.
Is that a Lorien reveal that was just drawn? You can't ever get lucky, can you? 2 cards left, and one of them will draw 3 cards and potentially drop land plus Q kind of spell. Oh yeah.
Yeah, at this point, if I remember correctly, I have lost my game and Yanni has won his game.
Also, everything's riding on Kari's shoulders.
It was either that it might have been also that Yanni didn't win his game till the end because his opponent just lost all the motivation to play against Titan because they.
That's another win con Titan has. Just bore your opponent to death.
Yeah, just combo. There's not much to say.
Yeah, not much to say. There's just lots of thinking going. I guess there was no land drawn, otherwise it would have been played.
Probably that's the biggest thing that. Yeah.
Yep. So now we are down to just spell pierce. If the draw spell pierce and force spike, if the draw is Dread
Exactly.
Return.
Yeah, it could also be Exhume, which would
If it's
play
Exhume, then
plays around both of them.
yes.
But if you need to use the blood or the mud, then it doesn't play around anything. And there's another terror, so you're 1,000,000% ready.
Super mega dead next turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you only got this one shot.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Okay, well, the first wheel didn't take. Maybe the second wheel.
Yeah. Technically, it has a redraw. Like that's so annoying that because the mud costs 2 and the blood costs 1, and you have only 4 mana, you don't have like the ability to
Do both.
and have a Dread Return or Exhume.
Yep.
You get only one redraw at this point because you only have one card also in your hand.
Yeah. That's so rough. I don't even know. I guess at this point it doesn't matter which one you go for at all because you're dead next turn. It's just you pick one and then let's see where it goes.
Oh, you have a third choice. You can cycle it.
True. Yes, you can. You can spend 1 or 2 mana to draw another card, however you want.
But it changes basically nothing.
The cycling is 2 as well, I imagine.
Yeah,
Not
the
1.
cycling is 2. Yeah, because if it would have been 1, he could see another card.
Yeah.
He's thinking about all the possibilities. I'm also like now checking out his game, talking with him, what he can draw, what he is the best option, because everybody knows at this point that the blue player doesn't have anything. It has little, so there's nothing that we can bluff or anything. There's
No,
just talk freely and try to find the best way to win. But really, the best way to just go on is
to top deck Exhume.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
And it's a troll.
Get trolled.
I think I choose is graveyard checkout. Like, is there any way? And I think there's no way. I didn't think any.
No, I think there's just not enough resources here.
Yeah, you would need. Okay, if you had another land, yeah, maybe. But there's the imp.
Maybe.
Look, there's the first.
Oh, thanks, imp. Right on time.
Yeah, I think everybody can see where this is going. Like, no freaking way. Yeah, no.
Okay, and there was nothing for like 10 cards. No way.
Yeah. He wasn't even close to getting anything. Everything was like already tough decked.
Yeah, this looks like a really, really rough matchup, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think the Blue Terror also has like Hydroplasts for their Fateless Lootings and stuff like that. So they have like more 1-mana counter spells. I'm not sure if Kari has red Elemental Blasts this day. I'm not sure if it's stock to play.
The Reb, is it? I am not sure, actually. His deck does not seem to be like a super common one, so it's...
Yeah. Yeah, that was Pauper.
Yeah, that was a beating and a half.
Yeah, it was like all the way from the start to the end. It was like basically everything went wrong on the Kari's side. Like, game 1, don't start upon has turn 1 Delver. Well, it didn't flip on turn 1, but still. Game 2 gets Spell Pierce. Find basically nothing, even though you're getting you're sculpting your hand, and in the end don't find anything. Well, sometimes it's that rough against blue decks.
Yeah, sometimes it's just how it goes.
But yeah, let's go see the third game.